Hello, my name is Vidnila Daniel. I'm talking about the Unit 2 chapters. Chapter 5 Medical Practitioners. Option A Practitioners and written doctors, also known as medical practitioners, must be qualified, have a university degree in medicine. They must also be registered, included in the general medical, consulized or registered in order to practice. A doctor who treats patients as opposed to one who only does research is called a clinician. A doctor who provides primary care for patients is known as a general practitioner or family doctor. GPs usually work in a group practice, larger group practice, or in a building called a health center. Note: in British English, the verb is play, practice, and the noun is split practice. Specialist doctors, for example, pediatricians, generally work in hospitals. However, those who work on site, they use private health care, may have consulting rooms outside a hospital. For example, in the famous Harley Street in London, the Roman branch of medicine or surgery and internal medicine, and the doctors who practice these branches are called surgeon and physician, respectively. In Britain, male surgeons are addressed as Mr. and females as Miss. So, Dr. Smith is a physician and Mr. Smith is a surgeon. A cardiologist, a geriatrician, and anesthetist specialized and is a specialist in disease of the heart and circulation or cardiology, disease of elderly patients or geriatrics, anesthetic. Note: names of specialists usually in ology, names of specialists usually in ologists. If the name of a specialty is the name of the specialist in ancient, there are some exceptions: age, anesthetics, and anesthetists. Choosing a specialty, Jade Malters had just graduated from medical school. and is talking about her future. I haven't decided what to specialize in it. I need more experience before I decide, but I'm keen attracted to the idea of pediatry because I like working with children. I certainly prefer to work with children than, say, elderly patients. So I don't fancy geriatrics. I was never very interested in detailed anatomy, so the surgical specialty like neurosurgery don't really appeal. You have to be good what your hands wash. I don't think it's a problem for me. I've assisted at operations several times, and I've even done some minor ops be myself, but surgeons have to be able to do the something again and again without getting bored, like kind of cute, artery and so on. I don't think they would be a problem for me, but they need to make decisions fast, and I'm not too good at that. I like to have time to think, which means surgeries probably not right for me. Not. The collection's good white is followed by a known his good white children. The collocation good is followed by they in form of a verb or being a noun. She's good at explaining procedures. She good at explanations. Now, 6. Chapter 6. Medical practitioners 2. Hospital staff. The people who work in any type of workplace, including hospitals, are called the staff, the medical staff. And a British hospital belong to one of your main groups. A pre-registration house officer or house officer is a newly graduated doctor in the first year of postgraduate training. After a year, he or she becomes a registered medical practitioner in the core system of training. The foundation program, the name for these junior doctors, is Foundation Year 1 Doctor. A senior house officer is in the second year of postgraduate training. The titular is now Foundation Year 2 Doctor, but the whole-time senior house officer and CHO are still used. A specialist registrar is a doctor who has completed the foundations program, and his training is one of the medical specialty. There are also more non-training registered doctors who have completed the training but do not wish to specialize yet. A consultant is a fully qualified specialist. There may also be some associate specialists, senior doctors who do not wish to become consultant. In addition, there is at least one medical or clinical director who is responsible for all of the medical staff. Medical team. Constant physician and surgeon are responsible for a specific number of patients in the hospital. Each consultant has a team of junior doctors to help care for those patients. In many hospitals, there are multidisciplinary teams which consist not only of doctors but also of physiotherapists and other allied health professionals. When patients enter or are admitted to hospital, they are usually seen faith belong to the junior doctors. When they are they will receive treatment and care. The junior doctor collects them, takes their medical history, and examining them. Sometime later, the register also sees the patients and make other investigations or tests. For example, a Q-ray or an HCG make a provisional diagnostic and begin treatment. The consultant usually sees the new admissions, people who have recently been admitted to the ward for the first time. One of the regular was wounds. When the management of the patients is discussed why they registered. Consultants also decide when a patient is ready, then, and a nurse, and they visit all the patients in the consulting care. Junior doctors, you normally wear and should wash names. They normally will work for 8 hours every day. For example, 7 Monday 7 to 3 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and all of them free until 7 a.m. the next day. After a week, they change to a different shift. For example, 3 p.m. to 20 p.m. or 21 p.m. 21 to 7 a.m. The alternative system is to work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day and to make turns to be on call. Available to return to the hospital is necessary from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. The next day, there is one call or sit out in the water or lines of names and time. Doctors on call a radio page or bleeper. A device which makes a noise when someone is trying to contact them. Chapter 7. Nurses. Nursing grade. Nurses working in a hospital have the following grade. Student nurse. A nurse who is still in training. Staff nurse. A nurse who has completed the training course. Charge nurse. A more experienced newsworker is one charge of or responsible for a ward or department. News manager. A news ward is in charge of several wards. Note: the whole team sister is still sometimes used for ephemeral change news. Ephemeral news manager may be called Metron. Dr. James is talking to Sister Wilkin. Super workers. The clinical super worker who has done a short course and obtaining basic qualifications, and the nursing auxiliary who is actually unqualified both assist nursing staff. There may also be ward clerks whose duties include making sure patients' notes and information are up to date and answering the telephone. Specialization like doctors, nurse screen specialists. A midwife has a specialist from the beginning, be done a course in midwifery, the management of pregnancy and childbirth. These nurses visit patients in their homes. Health visitors also work in the community, giving advice in the promotion of health and the prevention of illness. The news world. The news world has changed considerably in recent years. In addition to general patient care, checking temperatures, pulse, rate, and blood pressures, changing dressing given infections, and removing shorter news now. Do some of the things previously reserved to for doctors, such as prescribing drugs, and ordering laboratory tests. But responsibility for news is plain as the following article demonstrates. News carry out surgery in effort to cure patient waiting list. News in Scotland trained to perform minor surgery half into the operating health for the first time and an effort to cut patient waiting times. Give news to have passed a new cough, a Glasgow Caledonian University are now qualified to carry out such procedures as the removal of small lesions, benign mold, and cysts. The verbs perform and carved out are used right at tip of procedure. They are often used in the passive form. Perform, carved out. An examination, an operation, a procedure, an experiment, a test, a biopsy. The procedure was performed, carried out. Be a news. Chapter 8. INF professionals. Community health. The health of the community depends on the on a large number of people other than medical practitioners and news. They can be grouped under the heading of allied health professionals. They include the following: physiotherapists help people to move, be getting them to the exercise or be training their body. Watch her or message treatment be manipulating muscles and joint while they hunt. Occupational therapists help people with a disability to perform tasks at home and a work. A disability and a keep for the physical or mental conditions that makes it difficult to live normally, for example blindness or deafness. Social workers help people to solve their social problems, for example poor housing or unemployment or family problems. Chiropodists, also known as podiatrists, treat conditions affecting their feet. Technicians, there are numerous technician people who work the scientific equipment such as radiography, wall canal as a QA technician. Ambulance technicians work in the emergency medicine service. An ambulance technician with more advanced qualification is called a paramedic. Prosthetist and orthotist. Prosthetist and orthotist provide care for anyone who needs an artificial limb, a prosthesis, or a device to support or control part of the body. And orthosis, they also advise when rehabilitation, helping patients return to normal life and work after treatment. Prosthesis provide artificial replacement for patients who have an amputation or reborn without a limb. Authorities provide a range of plans. Another deficit to head movement, correct deformity from a abnormal development of part of the body. For example, clubfoot, talipes, and relief pain. Opticians test eyelight, eyesight, and grade, also known as spectacular and contact lens. When necessary, the examination includes measuring intraocular pressure, the pressure of fluid inside the eye, and examining the retina. If the optician suspect an eye disease such a glaucoma, they refer the patient to a GP for treatment. The GP may then refer the patient to an ophthalmologist, a doctor, wow, specialist in disease of the eye. Now, chapter 9. Hospitals. Introduction to a hospital. Jordi Pence is a fourth-year medical student from Barcelona. He has come to Britain on an elective attachment to the Royal Infirmary in the branch. Dr. Brown is introducing him to the hospital. Dr. Brown, the Royal Infirmary and the name of the University Hospital for Edinburgh University is a general hospital dealing with all types of patients and illness except pediatrics. We have a specialist hospital for that, and another part of Edinburgh, the hospital for sick children for can seek some of the departments in our hospital in the same. Of course, there are any others. For example, the intensive care unit and the surgical, the age dependency unit, HDO. Jody, what does outpatient mean? Dr. Brown, outpatients are the people who come to hospital to attend a clinic or to have tests or treatment and then return home on the same day. Inpatients stay in the hospital for one or more days. The rooms where they stay are called wards. If a patient's treatment requires only one day, such a simple operation, they can be admitted to the day surgery on it. Outpatients. Dr. Brown, the accident and emergency department, also called casualty, is where patients were acutely ill with a sudden serious condition come for assessment and treatment. Outpatients will have an appointment to see a specialist, go to a clinic and one of the outpatient department. They have usually be referred to the hospital with their GP. While write a referral letter to the consultant explaining the patient problem. In patients, Dr. Brown, the patient in a hospital are admitted in one of their main ways they may be seen. In one of the outpatient clinics and admitted for the hour. If there is a lot of demand for the treatment they need, as in the case of a hip replacement, they are put on a waiting list for admission. Alternatively, their GP may arrange the admission by telephone because they are acutely informed and ill. For example, what suspected myocardial infarction, or they are seen in the department while the doctor on duty working at that time arrange the admission. This will happen in the case of a patient with a fractured neck or femur. For example, larger hospitals may have an assessment or unit where patients can be admitted temporarily while their condition is assessed. Jody, assessed. Dr. Brown, yes, decisions are made about their condition and what needs to be done to help them. After treatment is completed, the patient is discharged back to the GP care. 10. Chapter 10. Primary care. The National Health Service. The National Health Service is responsible for health care for everyone in the org. Health touches a small number chose today to pay for private care. Treatment is free, but there is a prescription charge for drugs. An appliance such as a cervical color white exceptions for some patients such as children and test elderly. Primary care is provided by general practitioners or GPs, sometimes known as family doctors, news dentists, pharmacists, and opticians. GPs work and practice of 1 to 20. Practice are bars and a surgery and look after the health one off from mil to still 50 million people in their local community. They also provide education in how should have smoking. And yet, one clinics give vaccinations, for example, for influenza and may perform minor surgery such as labor for of warts and molds. If a patient needs a specialist care, the GP will make a referral with the patient of a consultant in secondary care. Patients are normally seen on a apartment basis or home visits are made when patients are housebound, unable to leave their homes, or too ill to attend surgery out of hours. Treatment from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. is provided by the local primary care church, which organizes shows of GPs and locum GPs to cover if someone is absent. Note: the non-surgery has three meanings. The building where GPs work, the practice has moved to a new surgery on the Hard Street. A time when GPs see patients, morning surgery is from 8:20 to the work of surgery. The patient needs urgent surgery on a both appendix. They practice them. A typical GP practice ex-employee receptionist. They are responsible for initial patient contact, making appointment, taken request for repeat prescriptions, taken message from patients and other healthcare providers, and for filling and scanning document into patient records. They practice manager and responsibility for finance and sometimes for it. Service supervise reception staff. Area comes and helps prepare the practice development plan, practice news, wound asthma, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease clinics, as well as one-to-one clinic 4. Watch to give up smoking. In addition to practice staff, GPs work with a number of health professionals. District news visit temporarily housebound patients, such as recently discharged hospital patients to change dressing shows has also dressing. Her visitors visit family to call out check out one young children, particularly under fives, to make sure they are healthy. Special attention is paid to family in need show a choose living in poverty. They also do baby immunizations. Midwich Bay one clinics for internatal patients. Physiotherapists provide hands-on treatment but also teach patient exercise they can do to improve their condition after an accident or operation. A JP's day, Dr. Stout works in a practice in a small market town with the other family doctors. The surgery is in the center of the town and his child be their practice. This is a typical working morning when there is not the duty doctor responsible for emergencies and urgent problems. Chapter 18. No, 18. No. Medical education 1. Medical education in the Oak. Education in the Oak covers undergraduate education 4 or 5 years at medical school, the section of a university responsible for medical education. A Trohe Foundation program was provided training for new doctors after graduation through a series of placements in different specialties. Postgraduate training which doctors take to be called GPs or consultant senior specialists often delivered through college for different specialties. For example, the Royal College of Physicians continues professional development in the form of courses and seminars which doctors undertake throughout their working lives to keep up to date. Extract from an undergraduate prospectus is a 5-year undergraduate medical degree course. Most of your learning takes place in small groups. The main components are core. Here's 1, 3. An integrated program of clinical and scientific topic mainly presented through problem-based learning, where you work with others on a series of case problems. Students select modules. Student-select modules allow you to choose from a menu of subjects such as sport, medicine, or even study a language as preparation for an overseas elective. A hospital attachment of your own choice between years 4 and 5. Vocational studies and clinic scale. These components prepares you for the clinical skill required for contact with patients. For year one of your course, choose periods of practical training where you are attached to a hospital department or general practice. Clinical attachment, a series of your week clinical attachments in medicine, surgery, psychological medicine, child health, obstetric, and gynecology and general practice. A student's view. Alien a medical student describes he calls. I'm just finishing my first year of medicine. What I like about this course is that your influence was patients from the very beginning, even in our each year. We spend time in hospital. Most of the course is probably we have to talk how sessions in week where we work in group of way 8 to then solving clinical problems. We decide together how to tackle the problem. Look up books and online sources, make notes, and discuss the case together. It's a great way of learning and getting to know the other students. In the past, medical students mainly go wow, although we do have some lecture and seminars where we work in small group with a tutor. I like part of it. Even the discussion we get to quote our cadavers from the second month of the course. Medical education too. The foundation program. The foundation program is a 2-year training program which forms the bridge between university level study at medical school and specialist or general practice training. It consists of a series of placement at lasting four months, what allow the junior doctor knows a training to simple different specialists, for example, pediatric. A year one training responds to pre-registration. Health officer post and a year two training to senior health officer post. Each training has an educational supervisor who ensures that more senior doctor delivery training a different way, including clinical and educational. that more senior doctors delivered training in different fields, including clinical and education, supervision to progress. Trainees have to demonstrate a range of clinical competency-wise are said to have observation in their workplace. People in medical education. Tutor. An academic or in some cases a postgraduate student will lead tutorials. Demonstrator. An anatomy teaching someone to demonstrate how to dissect. Demonstrators are often postgraduate students planning their way to medical school. Lecturer or senior lecturer. An academic wide teaching and research responsibility will contribute to their teaching of a particular discipline. Professor. A senior academic wide teaching and research responsibility for a particular discipline, usually a leading figure in their discipline. College tutor. A consultant responsible for delivering a college training program. Clinical trainer. A consultant assigned to a trainer will provide training during periods of direct clinical care. Educational supervisor. A consultant will supervise a training period of training. Medical qualifications. BMC, Bachelor of Medical Science, a degree often taken after years of medical students. The students were made right to follow a career in medical research. MBSH, BMBS, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, Bachelor degrees or undergrad degrees is the fifth degree for all doctors. MD, DN, Doctor of Medicine. DRCOG, Diploma of the Royal College of Obstetrics and Gynecology. MRCP, MRCS, member of the Royal College of Physicians, member of the Royal College of Surgeons. Doctor, become members be successfully completing the assessment procedures in the college. FRCS, Fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons of England. Other college indicate by the letters which follow, for example, Edinburgh, Glasgow, or Ireland. All doctors become a fellow depends on the college for the CFCS. For the examinations must be passed for other college. It is the nominations of work assessment. Chapter 3 Trees 23 Chapter 3 3 20 30 Chapter 30 They over science doctor tips of registration to manage and treat patients, and they hope a doctors must register while the general medical course. There are several types of registration. Professional registration is for doctors who have just qualified from medical school and they hope from certain European economic or member states. Full registration is for doctors who have completed their clinical training. Limited registration is of international medical graduates who have not completed the equivalent of a year clinical training in the hub. A specialist registration is for doctors who have completed specialist medical training and have a certificate of completion of training. The GP register is a register of all those eligible to work in general practice in the news. For note, for full detail of the General Medical Council, see www.gmc.org. Plan before they can obtain full registration. Some category of overseas doctors are required to take the professional and linguistic assessment board test. PLAB is designed to ensure those workers can practice safely at the level of ENSO. In a field apartment and hospital, Part 1 consists of a written test of knowledge, skill, and attitude. Part 2 is an objective, structured medical examination. It consists of 5-minute clinical scenarios known as stations to access professional slide. Plug stations and they advise clinical examination or your ability to carry out a physical examination of a simulated patient. One actor trained to play this role will be said uncomfortable or intimate examinations will be carried out using a mannequin and anatomical model. Practical skill. You will be assessed one practical skill such as suturing and giving intravenous injection. Communication skill. Your ability to integrate with a simulate patient or one some cause. The examiner will be assessed skill. Test, test may include breaking bad news and giving advice one life list. History taking your ability to take an accurate history and make a right diagnosis will be assessed. Advance one day sessions from a successful candidate. Where the questions outside earth station. Carefully, you have 1 minute for this. Keep in mind safety precautions, like when the shops in the shops bin. Don't forget the ABC protocol in every emergency station. Check the patient understands. Tap is opening, then ask them about any concerns they might have. Don't just give a lecture, listen carefully to that the actor say. Not. Shots are needless and bloods wash mouth be disposed of safely in a special container called a shot bin.